Hey, and welcome to the Vergecast for the week of January 20th, 2014. I'm Josh Topolsky.
I'm Nilay Patel.
I'm David Pierce. Was that a magician? Was that a
I don't know.
was like a
I don't know.
Like
I started.
It
Was like Don
magician?
Pardo. It was like Don Pardo meets magician.
Okay.
Meets spiritual advisor.
It works for you.
No.
I believe in whatever you're selling right now. I want 12.
What I'm selling is the Vergecast, where we discuss the week in all sorts of stuff. I mean, I used to have an intro where I said like consumer electronics or something, but like, God, we haven't talked about consumer electronics for a long time. What is going on? What is this little guy hanging down here? Got it. There was like a weird little point. You want to move my mic down, John? There's a voice in my ear telling me, where would you like it?
That is never as stealthy as you want it.
You want it, John? Is that the right place for my mic?
Nipple mic.
Just want to be sure. Is you want it over here? Is that good for you? Is that right?
This poor
The
controller.
nipple mic is a pretty good idea.
I don't go into your control room and
that's
tell you where to
the
put your mic.
Where is your mic, John?
Yeah, I don't hear you, so sounds like your mic.
John's thrown the mic on the ground and has left the control room.
I'm having a technical problem here with this. This is a piece of crap. How's that?
It's my technical problem.
Does that work for you, John?
You broke John.
Looks great.
Just
he
now
said.
you broke
He said
John.
it looks great.
It's exactly where it was before.
Sorry, I don't know. Where do you want it? Covering my mouth. Well, it's a microphone. It's supposed to be near the mouth area. I don't know if you know how these work. I know you're supposed to be an expert or whatever, but I like that I'm having a conversation with a person that knows.
Voice
can hear.
riveting, yeah.
I
By the
hope
way,
it will
none of
include-
us can hear John either.
Are you
This is
serious?
Of course we can.
I don't know. Anyhow.
Is there even a John?
I have no idea how to transition from this into Beats music, but we're going to try.
Anyhow, so we're going to talk about some things that happened this week in the news, and what a week it was.
So
Eli?
this week was really strange because we didn't.
Yes.
We usually. Years ago, we only ever worked from home, and now we have this office. And the first 2 days of this week, everyone just worked at home because there was a snowstorm.
It was wonderful.
And it was strange. I got here on Monday, and I walked around asking everybody how their weekend was, because
No, that makes sense.
It's just
Monday
strange.
is when the end of the weekend.
when you come. No, I came on Wednesday and asked everybody. How
Oh, you were on Wednesday. You were asking.
this week, so I'm
Right.
confused.
Right.
Just as a baseline, I've no
I'm
idea what's going on.
also feeling confused. It's horrible. This is the kind of weather that makes me want to leave New York and never look back.
Yep.
It is. Honestly, we don't really have much good weather here. It's like
No.
disgusting in the summer.
No. It's really great,
disgusting
like,
in the
April.
winter. There's like a
April
couple.
is
There's like
wonderful.
1 month in the spring and there's 1 month in the fall.
yeah. There's
and then it's just
And then it's awful.
it's like a hurricane or a blizzard or a heat wave.
Right.
Like it's a good thing New York is New York.
It's good that
Or
they
like
have
a
hurricanes
homeless man
now.
hits you.
Yeah, right.
Those are your
It's
options.
not a weather issue, but it's still.
That's why
it's
these
still-
are all the reasons.
Oh,
So
why
when
hold
it's
on.
nice
Hold on,
out,
sorry,
the
I'm
homeless
sorry.
attack.
Excuse me, I take.
They just come
Hello?
for David.
Hello.
Oh, God.
Yes, where are you? Where are you? Are you down? Is he down there?
This week
Yeah, I'll
on
send someone
one-sided
down. I'll send someone
conversations
down
with
right now.
Topolsky.
Thank
Josh, what score would you give
okay,
the
bye.
Seamless app?
Hold on a second. Sorry, I've been waiting for a food delivery, and I
Are you
had
going
to
to eat
take
the
that call.
sushi on air?
No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
But here's what I will do.
Yeah.
Can someone go down and get that food for me? So, Sam, you got it? Really? You can Instagram it or something. Yeah. And just don't bring it here. Like, just put it out there or whatever. Like, somewhere safe.
In your
Don't let Rondo see it because he'll eat it.
You can really
my
tell
office
that
would be great. Thank
there
you.
was no news this week.
Anyhow, so that's what happens when I get a delivery. And the Seamless app, I actually feel is pretty good, though it does some weird things, like the way it functions. Like when you want to, it makes you save your options on something. Like if you like, let's say I'm ordering a sandwich and I'm like, I want cheddar cheese on the sandwich, and they give you the option for cheddar cheese.
Right.
When you select that, then you have to say save and go back. It should just be like you said it, and that's how it is. And now you can back out to the
Yeah.
rest and do whatever.
I don't need to confirm my
It
desire
seems
for
like
cheddar cheese.
it seems a little weird. So I give it a 7.5.
Can I ask a question
There's room for
totally
improvement.
unrelated to everything,
Yeah,
except that I had a
yes.
very long conversation with somebody about this last night? Do you feel bad making people deliver you food in bad weather? I've been debating this ever since it started
I
snowing,
think there's
and
a basic
I don't
human
at all.
No.
And I've been told that I
think-
should.
I think a human being, you look at a human out in the elements, and you're like, oh, that sucks. But I don't feel bad enough that I wouldn't order the food. Let's put it that way.
right.
Yeah, I don't like.
I
it.
just tip well.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
That's the move.
I think
You got on your bike and it's snowing. Here's $5.
I don't think Manhattan is that bad. I'll be honest with you. Compared to Brooklyn,
Yeah.
like the sidewalks are clear and the streets are clear here. Brooklyn, there are literally piles of bodies under snow.
Yeah.
There's people who just were snowed over, and nobody's going to discover them until
There's not actually that much snow. It's
until
just
it
this
thaws.
full
It's
of bodies and then this much snow.
It's all bodies and then a few inches of snow.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't feel bad enough that I wouldn't order.
Okay, good.
I feel bad for a person. Anybody who has to be in the elements. I'm like, yeah, that blows for you.
But that's why I'm
please
paying
hand
you.
me my food and
Right.
get away.
Here's some money.
Please
Okay.
leave.
So,
You want to talk about news? Is that what you want to do?
I mean, yes or no.
Okay,
It's,
all right,
it's
let's
up
do
to
it.
you. Whatever
Let's
you
do
want.
it. Beats.
So, well, we don't. Have to, we should not start with
Beats by Dr.
There's
Dre.
There's sort of a lot of weird streaming media stuff to talk about. We should actually.
Also, we have.
Yeah, we should just do that. That's
Okay.
what I was going to say.
You know, before we get into the topic,
well, this
we were going
is
to talk.
actually what's been happening.
Well, yeah,
week.
this is the biggest thing happening this week by far.
is Sundance.
I don't know
going
what
on.
you're talking about.
This.
This thing.
This
So-
right
just
now.
keep like talking around it. This thing that's been happening is a big deal.
Yeah.
Sundance is happening this week,
Yeah.
which is a film festival that takes place in beautiful Park City, Utah.
Where it's
Yeah.
probably much
Is it in
nicer
Park
than it is
City?
here. It is in Park City.
Yeah, I've been.
At
I was,
Robert Redford's house.
I was at Sundance one time.
Yeah.
I did a panel with Edward James Olmos
Nice.
and several other people about like science fiction and film or something, and it was awesome. Edward James Olmos,
That's pretty awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
Guy, and also like was saying stuff that was really crazy, like we're all doomed, and like pretty soon we're going to be getting like we're going to have artificial body parts, and like I was like, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Like he's like, you know, I'll probably have like a robotic body, and I'm like, probably not, like before you die.
You're pretty old.
But he also was like, the way things are going, like it's basically a post-apocalyptic nightmare world.
Yeah.
He's like, this is like the road.
He always struck me as really optimistic.
He's cool. No, he's awesome. He was awesome. He's a great guy.
All right. Well, Brian and Casey have been there.
Speaking of Sundance,
They've been there. They've been watching movies and
just like-
complaining about lines.
my one name drop, my Sundance name drop. I just want to keep
good.
milking
All right. So we
it.
theoretically have.
So
Brian.
we have Brian
Brian.
here. There he is
Brian.
from Sundance.
Hey.
Brian, how are you?
How's it going?
I like the
Doing
backdrop.
good.
Yeah, look at that. You can tell you're at a film festival because there's a thing behind you that says film festival.
You're being filmed in such high quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just hanging out here with Edward James Olmos, and we were talking about the future. It was cool.
Does he have a robot body?
Cool troll.
He does.
Yeah, he's like,
Just a pinky,
he actually
just a
was
pinky.
just
He
his
started
head
small.
attached
He's
to
like,
it.
show Josh.
It was like RoboCop. Brian, you're at Sundance. You've been covering the festivities for several days. There's some belief amongst certain people on the staff that you're really just on vacation. But tell me, and you're just hobnobbing and canoodling. You're hobnobbing and canoodling with celebrities.
With Robert Redford.
What do you see? What's happening at Sundance? Tell us what's going on. Tell us what you've experienced.
You know, there's been a couple interesting things. The first thing that really kind of surprised me was that we saw Zach Braff's Kickstarter movie, obviously, was here this year. That was a big story last year. I was not expecting it to be good, I guess. I'm not necessarily a big Zach Braff fan. And it's really good.
Do Braff
Really?
fans, do Braff
But
fans
is
have a name?
He's in the movie.
Yeah, he's in
And
the
it's
movie.
still good.
He co-wrote the movie and he directed it, and it's still
he
good.
he stars in it?
Yeah, and it's like this father-son movie. Like the theater was crying. I talked to other people in other screenings. They were crying, so it wasn't just weird gas in our screening. Like, it's legitimately good, and
Wow.
people like, and it's really bizarre.
Wow, and this was the movie that he started funding on Kickstarter.
Wait, can I ask you a question? And this is
Yeah.
going to really color the rest of this conversation.
Yeah.
Did you like Garden State or hate it with every fiber of your being?
I was just very blah about Garden State, but I thought it had a good soundtrack.
I thought
love
Garden State.
Garden
I
State.
thought Garden State was absolutely
movie.
terrible.
was
Like
the
one of the worst movies I've ever seen
Yeah.
in my entire life.
Yeah.
And
It's because you have no soul.
so that's why. No, it's because
I have
my
a soul
soul
that
is.
wants to do things.
It's because I have a soul that's authentic and not phony. And
Josh, did you see it after it gotten talked up or beforehand?
I don't think I was aware of the hype factor. It was many years.
there a
I think
hype
I could have been-
I
look,
must have been
there was.
after. It must have been after it got talked up. But it still. I wasn't like, oh, this is going to be great. I was like, I'm just going to see this because I don't know
Yeah.
what it's like. I came in. I think I went into it being relatively open minded about it. Big Natalie Portman fan. Zach Braff, not a big fan, but I don't have a hatred for him or anything. I mean, after Garden State, I kind of lost some.
that's why.
I lost some respect.
I mean, I
for
could
the
be
guy.
alone in a desert
Love-
island with
love
only a copy of
Sarsgaard.
Garden State, and that shit would still not entertain me.
Love Peter
And it's awful.
Sarsgaard.
You'd be like, oh, the desert.
Wait, is it Sarsgaard? He's a Sarsgaard.
What?
Peter.
Does he guard against SARS?
No, that's
every day.
no, because there's the Scars guards, which are Stellan and
Peter is a SARS guard.
Brian,
SARS guard.
tell us what's
He's
happening
SARS.
now at Sundance.
Brian, are there any SARS or Scars guards at
No one
Sundance?
has SARS here, at least that I have seen, but there could be an outbreak.
So the Zach Braff film was surprisingly good. Well, what else have you
That's
experienced?
surprisingly good. Raid 2 was the other night, which is amazing and kicks all kinds of ass.
Did you like the original Raid?
I appreciate it for being a big kick-ass action movie, but I thought it was a little bit thin on character and story. Like it's like I got the trick that it was pulling off, but it necessarily wasn't the best movie for me.
Hey, spoilers,
Whereas this
no spoilers.
has all of that, but more, and it has like this big like epic gangster drama thing going on. It just straight kicks ass. I'll be honest. Like the entire theater was freaking out. It's a really, really good time. There's a lot of breaking bones and blood and super crazy violence and insanity.
Was this the same
but
theater that was crying after a Zach Braff movie? Like, was it the
Different
same
theater.
exact room, and then like they started playing the other movie?
They're like, and now the Raid 2. And people were just like on an emotional roller coaster.
That would have worked
Yeah.
for you. You would have seen
Actually-
Zach Braff and been like, I want blood, and then they give it
and
to
I
you.
killed him for 2 hours, and the theater was cheering. Actually, Brian, can you tell us? I've never been to Sundance. I know some of us have hobnobbed and canoodled with celebrities there.
canoodled with
Hollywood
celebrities.
Topolsky here
That's
is a
me.
big
That's-
Sundance fan.
that's me. Thank you.
What's it like? Like, what happens there when you get off the plane? Like, what do you do?
Well, you have to plan. You're in Salt Lake City, then you have to drive about half an hour, 40 minutes to Park City. And Park City, it's a bit of a cluster logistically. I mean, there's the main street, which is this small kind of hometown feel. It's like a couple blocks, 4 or 5 blocks, super packed. There's lots of people there. There's traffic situations. There's only one theater that's actually on Main Street, and the rest is people walking around to restaurants. There are parties, that kind of stuff. But there's basically lines everywhere. The thing about Sundance is that it is a very line-centric experience. And whether you go to one of these other theaters, and they're scattered around Park City, there's a shuttle system that's free. It's great. You can go around, but there's lines for the shuttles. You get to a screening, you have to stand in line if you have tickets. If you don't have tickets, if you go to a press and industry screening, you have to stand in line there, which is kind of part of the problem. But one of the cool things about Sundance is that historically, if you didn't have a ticket, they do have some tickets there on site. So you can basically do what they call the wait list. And you can just show up early, do this Star Wars thing and line up as early as you want and be crazy, and hopefully you'll get a chance to see a movie. The problem is that creates logistical problems because people are standing in lines everywhere. So they had this thing this year called the e-wait list, which is a great idea.
Very controversial.
In concept, which is basically it's a website. You can bookmark it. It's assuming you have a mobile app on your phone. And 2 hours before a screening, you basically say, yes, I want this. And then you can, in theory, get your placed in line then. So you don't have to wait in line 5 hours in advance. The problem was that it didn't really work. We were basically sitting there trying to go and get tickets for screenings, and it went launched, and I said, "Cool, press the button," and I was 105th in line, which was kind of weird because about a quarter of a second had passed.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was basically trying to go and when Ticketmaster first put tickets on sale online, it was like that, except you weren't buying tickets. You were trying to get a place in line to get the chance to get a ticket. So it was kind of a mess. They had server problems.
Just goes to show you gotta wait in the meat space.
Yeah.
You can't be waiting online virtually.
Yeah, you got to go there.
That to me is the whole idea of the internet is to circumvent waiting for things. Don't put me in a situation where I'm going to digitally wait.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
You just look at your phone.
If I'm going to
see
wait,
if you're
of course
gonna
I
get in.
wouldn't. There's very few things I would wait in line for in life.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, a movie is probably not one of them. I would just at this point just say, well, I'll see it when either no one's going to see it or I'll wait till it's available. I waited in a line.
When you were a boy?
on.
No, in Sundance, I waited in one line for a film there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that bad. It moved pretty quickly. But the problem was it was freezing because you're in the mountains. That's the other thing, right? Because there's you're at the altitude is very high there.
So you're drunk all the time.
No, but people do get drunk easier. Utah has very strict ways of serving alcohol.
Yeah.
They have little measurement guys. They'll give you specific measurement of alcohol.
Really?
Very hard to get
robotic
drunk.
shot, yeah.
Very hard to get drunk
Did you
there.
say or a body shot?
No, robotic.
Robotic shot.
Or a body shot.
All bets are off when it comes
So
to
you can have a one shot, or you can cover your entire body in alcohol. But do they give you warnings? Did you get any warnings about the altitude? You can pass out. You can. I don't know. They sell little air things, little oxygen masks you can buy at the convenience stores.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. There is just a lot of, anytime you have to walk up Parks, Main Street is a slope. There's a lot of out of breath people all the time.
Yeah.
That could just be that everyone's extraordinarily out of shape, or maybe it's a combo pack.
Now, this is the way Sundance works. Is there's the weekend that leading up to you're now in the midst of the actual festival. The weekend leading up to it there's a bunch of parties, right?
Well, there's been parties going on the entire time.
Okay.
Like it started like last Thursday. It ends, I think the final award ceremony is this weekend.
Have you been to any parties?
I went to, there was a party for this Nick Cave documentary that we went to, or that I went to, where Nick Cave played a couple songs on a piano, which was cool. Casey went to a Belle and Sebastian performance. YouTube's been here. They've been having parties. Kickstarter's had parties. Airbnb has the Airbnb House, Haus, which is their dope little hangout. Yeah, it's the worst.
Is it cool? Did you go to the house?
The house.
I did not go to the house. I did not. Casey went. He did not have glowing tales of splendor. And
What else? So what
Yeah, 'cause
other
it's an Airbnb. They probably actually got an Airbnb.
what other films have you seen or are you going to see? Are you excited about?
I saw Boyhood, which is Richard Linklater's new movie, which is this movie he's been filming like year by year for 12 years about a kid literally growing up. Which was just as a feat was kind of crazy because there have been documentaries where they've caught up with people, like 5-10 years after we meet them, where you see sequels where they'll see the same actors years after the fact. But doing like 1 year at a time for 12 years is kind of insane. It was interesting. The actors that he had for it were this unknown kid, Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette, and his own daughter. And his daughter apparently was not into the movie, and like 3 years in, like came to him and was like, "So, Dad, can my character die?" Which she's like she's like a 9-year-old girl. She does not want to.
So it's not a documentary. It's a narrative fictional film.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Patricia Arquette.
So wait, did you just spoiler the movie for us? Is one of the main characters dies?
She does not die. I will unspoiler, or maybe that was the spoiler.
No, and now you've spoiled it twice.
Did a movie about children, none of the characters die?
Well, we don't know that. We just know that his daughter apparently now.
So is that one a good movie? I was curious, like reading the stuff that you were writing, where it's like it's a crazy thing to do, but was it actually a good movie?
It is surprisingly. It seems super stunty, and it could just be a colossal failure where you're like, good on you for trying that, but it doesn't work as a movie.
Yeah.
But it is like Linklater's done all this stuff with like the Before series where it's just people talking, like little slice of life stuff, and he's gotten really good at it. He's obviously done like a lot more broader comedy stuff and even sci-fi stuff. But the actors are just really, really good, and there's this weird perspective you get knowing that they shot the movie that way. Like there's this reference to Star Wars sequels never happening earlier on. It's like this great laugh because if you saw that in a fictional movie that was made today, you're like, oh, that's funny because they know they're coming, so they made a joke and ha. But it's like that they actually thought they were never happening.
Oh, so that sounds really interesting. That sounds crazy. Yeah. And is that going to be in wide release? I'm just assume not anytime soon.
I know it's coming out this year.
Okay, VOD.
So.
IFC Films has it, so I don't know if they're going to get a wider deal.
That's all I care about.
How soon can I torrent it?
How soon? Yeah, it's probably torrent.
So we should talk about Star Wars sequels because that's the other big
segue.
Movie news of like the day, pretty much, is that 7 is the script is complete, which seems awfully fast.
J.J. Abrams, did he announce it? That the script is complete, or has said that?
Yeah, he said it's complete.
It's finished.
Yeah.
And
it will not be shot in IMAX, which is like cool.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I guess that's great. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know how to feel about this. I thought the last 3 were pretty bad. I thought the third one was probably the best of the prequels,
which is the faintest praise of all time.
Yeah, no, I mean they weren't very good.
Like of all those times you punched me in the face, the last one.
They didn't. I don't think they did anything to improve the world that was created with the first 3 Star Wars films. I mean, I just feel like they were just there because they could be there. Brian, what is your take on this?
You say J.J. Abrams, people get really excited. There's a lot of hope there. The one thing I think that is very promising is that.
Why is there hope? Can I ask? I don't think he's handled Star Trek particularly well. I think
really, I really like the first Star Trek.
I felt like both of those movies are deeply confused about what they want to be, and as a Star Trek, as a next gen fan, and some of the other stuff. I mean, I felt like they wildly favor bombast over a great story, and Star Trek has actually traditionally been about great stories, and especially the latest one, I thought was just completely confused in what kind of movie it wanted to be, and really like it's all plot devices to create big set pieces. Like I mean, to me, everything is about.
But isn't that movies?
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, there are actually good movies with great stories that are like create wonderment in the viewer.
Yeah, but if you can't have there's no way to make a Star Trek movie without it being a big budget movie.
Right. Well,
there's no way to make a big budget movie without like basically having dialogue that sets up set pieces. As far as I can tell,
I think you could do it in a way that's really good, though. I'll just say Gravity. Gravity is an hour and a half long science fiction movie that is like completely thrilling and gripping from beginning to end.
But it's also basically just one big set piece.
Well, but it is.
Like,
but,
that's what that movie is.
But it's really well done.
And they like sort of throw story at it. And they're like, oh, there's
the story is context. I mean, I think that there's, but if you look at that by very different than a Star Trek film.
Yeah,
but a really consistent. Singular sort of thought about what that movie was going to be, and it's super effective. A Star Trek feels like 6 different action movies crammed together with stereotypical action movie characters and stereotypical action movie situations. Like, yes, the city is going to be blown up.
Yeah.
And like, there's going to be a thrilling sequence where people like jump or fly through space trying to dodge something. Like, just is going to happen. Brian, sorry, you're just hanging out there.
Well, no, I think there's a couple things, and what you just said about it feeling like the Star Trek movies feeling like different movies. I think part of that was the first one especially felt like a Star Wars movie. So I think, it felt like it had that energy and bombast. I think he gets, how to do that.
Yeah.
I agree. I had lots of problems with the Star Trek Into Darkness, but he also didn't write that movie. That was, other writers. That's the Transformers guys. That's Lindelof. And he basically rewrote, Star Wars. They had Michael Arndt, who written Toy Story 3, that had the original draft that, he, Lucas, and all those guys were working on. And Michael Arndt left the project, and Lawrence Kasdan, who wrote Empire, and then Abrams basically rewrote the movie. So when they say the script is finished, it's like their brand new version that, supposedly has a lot of new stuff, and they just like ditch what came before. And I feel like a guy like J.J. Abrams, he's pulled off great storytelling before. Look back at his early TV stuff. He knows how to do character. He knows how to do that stuff well.
And 7 is going to take place after the first 3, not the prequels, but the original, which are 4, 5, and 6.
It seems a little like he's pretending those 3 movies just didn't happen.
It is 7. I mean, in the sense that it is a true sequel to the third film, Return of the Jedi. So that I will say this: that what it has going for it is I am very interested to see what happens after those movies end.
Yeah.
I was not as interested to see what happened before they started. Like, that didn't interest me as much as what might occur after those films ended.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to see it start. So it's got that going for him. I just I disagree with you about the first Star Trek film. I think it has the same kind of
Do you know
confusion.
what movie actually the only Star Wars movie I want to see is?
What?
3.5, when Darth Vader just fucks shit up for like 10 years.
He's just owning it. Just owning it.
How awesome would that movie be?
Well, that actually, like Darth Vader. No,
Just give me what I want.
What they really didn't do was that's true. Like, you don't see any of the develop. That is also an interesting era where Darth Vader is running things.
Yeah.
Where he's already he's got the outfit.
Yeah.
And like he's just doing bad stuff everywhere. Because we really just saw a taste of it in the third one, and then.
It's not even a taste. He's like, no, and then it's over.
But you get a taste of his evilness.
Yeah.
But then
when he kills a bunch of kids for no reason.
Right, then they Vader him up, and then boom, you're out. And like, what happens in the interview? Because there's like 20 years in there, right?
Yeah, where he's just killing it. He's just like
how
everything.
how old is Luke?
tearing it up.
How old is Luke Skywalker in the first film supposed to be? Like 16, 17, 18?
Yeah, like 17, yeah.
Somewhere in that.
Yeah.
So like, there's like a good 18 years there of just him going off. Just going off on people.
Railing on everything.
Like, just
And he's good at
killing,
it too. He's like,
chopping.
nobody's
He's the
messing
best.
with him.
He's going to do different. He's going to throw lightsabers at people. And presumably, I guess. I don't know. Get like a big cannon that fires lightsabers.
I mean, they should get the guy who did The Raid to do a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
3.5.
Oh my God.
Just
that would be.
ruining everything.
Don't. Let's not. For people who haven't seen The Raid, I don't want to.
Brian,
anyhow,
if that guy's at Sundance, go suggest that to him.
that's good.
That's a great
idea.
I just
He
made
should
him
go
$1
with
million.
that movie.
So anyhow, so
$1
J.J.
million.
Abrams is now going to do Star Wars.
Yeah. Brian,
Okay.
what else is going on at
Whatever.
Sundance?
Yeah. What else? Anything else?
Right now the city is starting to slow down a little bit. The first 4 or 5 days were really, really crazy. Now it's starting to mellow out. There's been a lot of like acquisition deals, like movies getting picked up, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So right now it's just kind of like, people are batting cleanup and seeing a bunch of stuff. There's this really, really weird movie. I think right now is the moment where people are saying, like, what's the weirdest thing at the festival and trying to see it. There's a movie called Wetlands that I'm not going to talk about on the podcast. So I'll just direct people to go to the Sundance site to research that name if they want to. But it's the most bizarre, perverse, insane-sounding movie I've ever heard of.
Have you seen Nymphomaniac?
Wow.
No, that was the secret screening. That was just part one. This movie sounds much more insane and worse than
Really?
Nymphomaniac.
I disagree with Brian.
Yeah.
Don't ever go to this website ever in your life.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Never,
it would be.
ever,
totally
ever,
insane.
ever, ever.
The fact that that's on the Sundance website is insane.
That's the lead picture.
That seems okay.
I mean, I could read you this.
Seems
I'm not going
Right
to.
now, we're like crashing.
Don't read
We're going
it.
to
Don't
crash
read
the
it.
Sundance
No.
site with.
There's just. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing
Yeah,
it.
do not read it.
This is so upsetting, Brian. I'm really. I wish you hadn't done this to me.
I am very interested in Wetlands now that I've seen that image. Also, you did not see Nymphomaniac, but there was a secret screening of it, part
Right.
1. Right?
Part 1.
Yeah. And
Which is kind of weird because it's like being released internationally as one big 5-hour epic, but in the U.S. they're splitting up into 1 and 2. So why not just show the full 5-hour version? I mean,
it's Sundance. There's your opportunity right there. I mean, right?
Yeah.
The movie buffs. Nymphomaniac is the new Lars von Trier movie, which apparently I read a review of it and somebody was like, Shia LaBeouf is definitely actually having sex in this movie. Like, if this is CGI or a prosthetic, like, it's better than any effect I've seen in any movie.
Wow.
So that that to me, that's like I'm where do I sign up? Where do I buy my ticket? I'll wait in line for that. All right, I think unfortunately we have to move on, Brian. But thank you so much for joining us. You guys have been doing great work, and looking forward to a full rundown from you about Wetlands.
I just accidentally went back to the website.
Close the tab, bro.
Thanks a lot, Brian.
Close the browser. Take care, guys.
Later.
All right.
So that's good. Little Sundance report. I am excited about that the Richard Linklater film. It sounds really pretty crazy.
Sounds cool.
Sundance is funny. It sounds a lot more like CES than I think they want to let on, where there's like this big glitzy thing going on, and then the actual show is everybody in the back making deals for movies.
No, it is.
And that's why everybody goes.
The
right?
funny thing is that
Spielberg goes to be like, hey,
it's
and then
such a
everybody else
bummer
goes
that
to
like
sell movies.
all these festivals are like basically the same.
Yeah.
That you end up you're in a it's just some kind of weird trade show. But hey, that's how business gets done.
Yeah.
Got to get everybody in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, what's next on our list of exciting topics?
Should we talk about Beats?
Beats by Dr.
Well,
Dre?
we should. It's funny because we ran the fanboys piece, and then I'm going to say the news from today.
Do it.
Wah, wah.
Wall Street Journal, man, back at it. 2 new iPhones next year. They're
Yeah.
going to be big.
Best,
Be bigger.
best iPhones ever.
This is the new like Gene Munster predicting
One-
there's going to be a TV
No,
thing, right?
if they don't do
eventually
listen,
they're
if they
gonna
don't
be
do-
right
they don't do a
and-
big
Yeah. So
iPhone.
anyway, so the only whatever it's Wall Street Journal. One will be over 4.5 inches and one over 5 inches.
That seems crazy to me. I do a 4.5 inch sounds realistic. Over 5 inches sounds you're getting into I don't know.
I'd be really
You're right,
surprised
you're-
if they made like a
what's that,
6-inch
5?
iPhone.
This is a 5 inch and it's big.
I think they have to make something to compete with the Note. I mean, like, I
Yeah,
really think
maybe.
the only reason people have those phones is because the screens are big. I don't think that like, I mean, I'm just gonna say I don't know any single tech journalist or person who really cares about phones who has an S4 running stock TouchWiz. They buy it and they like the big screen and they root it. Those are the people I know. People who do that. Everybody I see in the subway with the phone has like really big phones because they like big screens.
I mean, I think
And
the
I'm
Galaxy S3
extremely attracted to the big screens.
I see a shocking number of Galaxy
I
Notes.
think the
just out in
Galaxy-
I
wild.
see notes everywhere.
I think the S3, the S4, and the Note have been
but
like.
half of them are rooted.
I think the S3, the S4, and the Note have been enormously successful, and
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. I think
Breaking
there are-
news. Qualcomm acquires Palm, iPack, and Bitphone patent portfolio from HP.
What?
So Palm is officially just done. It's
yeah.
gone forever.
Please
By the way, Qualcomm,
bring back the iPack.
Ruby is on Qualcomm's board.
Yeah,
John
well,
Rubenstein
maybe
was on
Qualcomm will
Qualcomm's
start
board.
making tiny phones.
Yeah. Well, what are they going to...
Why not?
Anyway, what were
happen.
you saying? You're saying something about Samsung.
Speaking of-
It's maybe the least important breaking
No,
news
I
of
was
all time.
saying, that was pretty, but okay,
it's-
Palm's officially blown to pieces. I was just saying that I actually think that most S4s, S3s, and Notes are not rooted. I think that they are bought by regular people who go into AT&T stores and are like, I want a big screen.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think they are attracted
And I
to
gotta
the
tell you, like,
software
like
or
having-
any of Samsung's nonsense.
Having been doing the dance between iPhone and the
Yeah.
Z1 lately, like it is crazy how small the iPhone screen is.
Yeah.
Like it is time now. We get it. It fits fine in everybody's hand, but that's like you're not really fighting the real battle.
Yeah.
The real battle is not like, can I reach the corner with this thumb? It's like I'm looking at a visually complex web page on your phone or a visually complex app, and it's hard to look at and use, So I think they're going to do bigger phones. I think that's kind of an
No, but I think the over 4 is to basically hit the middle of the market, and
Yeah.
the over 5 is.
Well, they have a
there
4.
There are lots and lots. Or over 4.5
Yeah.
is to hit the middle of the market, and over 5 is to hit the Note.
But do you
because
think
the Note is
will
incredibly
will they keep the
popular.
regular size iPhone? I think they will.
They'll keep like the 5C. They'll just do
No,
the thing. that they do.
doesn't
I
this
think
article
they'd be
say they're
crazy
discontinuing the
not to.
5C?
Like my parents, if
Well, no,
I
but
tried
I'm
to get
saying
my
they'll
dad
do
a
the
Galaxy
thing.
Note size phone,
They'll do like the 5S is the new old phone, and
Yeah.
But this says they're
No,
discontinuing.
maybe they'll put another case around it. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
They'll
Well,
do the 5C.
right? This does say they're which I think you're about to say that they're going to stop producing iPhones with plastic cases,
which is
meaning the 5C.
which is really odd.
yeah,
considering they just started producing an iPhone with a plastic case.
Well, but all the indications are that it's not selling.
If this report is
particularly
true,
well, right?
I mean, I don't know. We don't know.
We don't know, but everybody's
when
TV
are Apple
reading.
earnings?
Soon.
Yeah.
Like real soon.
This is good timing for Apple
Days.
earnings. Yeah.
Well, the reason there's all these rumors are happening is because it's earnings season. So Netflix had earnings. Microsoft just had earnings. Their earnings are really good. That's also sort of breaking news.
Yeah.
So Microsoft record revenue, and they sold 3.9 million Xbox Ones.
But that's something, by the way, you can think about with Microsoft, which is so weird, is they actually have been doing, if you look at their stock, it doesn't fluctuate wildly, but it's been steady, and there's been like incremental growth, steady incremental growth.
Their big core business of selling Office to people is like, and infrastructure to people is doing fine.
It doesn't seem like Google has had too huge of an impact, though clearly they're fighting they're fighting the threat of an impact.
They sold 3.9 million Xbox Ones, 3.5 million Xbox 360s.
Still not talking numbers for
Bizarre.
Surface.
They won't tell you how many Surface, but they made 893 million in revenue, which is not profit, which is kind of like.
But last year the Surface was a huge write-down, was it not?
Those two, it was a while ago.
No, it was last earnings, I think, for Microsoft. Am I crazy? Where there was a terrible.
It was a couple ago, I think.
It was a while ago.
But it was a They
I
took a huge
I don't know
write-down.
that I have seen a few Surfaces in the wild, but
All I see them on is NBC shows. Yeah, like they bought
And Fox.
NBC.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
I watch Parks and Rec, and it's like
they
every
put
one
it-
of them has a Surface and a Windows phone.
Yes, there's a lot
Every-
of.
it's
so
crazy.
so here's where there's enormous Microsoft product placement: Parks and Rec, and
Scandal.
the Mindy Project.
Yes,
The Mindy Project is
Good
out
Lord.
of control. They're using
Yeah.
like all the sounds, and they're using the graphic on screen,
It's crazy.
like on screen text bubbles and stuff. It's crazy. There's so much like people using Surfaces. Everybody has a Windows phone. And I'm just
my
like,
favorite is
this
when
is the most unreal. Like this show's great, but you've just robbed it of all realistic.
Well, there are all these moments in Parks and Rec where somebody will be sitting at their computer and they'll like turn to talk to somebody over here, and their monitor will be facing this way, which is just like blatantly they wouldn't have been able to see it sitting at their desk. Well, it's also like, here's Windows.
My favorite thing on Parks and Rec was that before Instagram was available for Windows Phone, like somebody was like, "Oh, just Instagram that," and it's like, "No, you didn't. You're using a Windows Phone," and that's like the nerdiest thing to notice. By the way, I'm like, "No, I don't think so." As I adjusted my glasses and pocket protector, but anyhow, so
Anyway, so
the hell were we talking about? Big iPhones.
Big iPhone. So Microsoft, Nokia didn't do so well, but they're not going to do well.
Nokia is doesn't matter. They're being absorbed.
Yeah, they're being absorbed in the revenue machine.
Into the revenue generator that is
it's earnings
Microsoft.
season, so rumors of big iPhones are happening. Apple, there was another, I don't know, let me look at the sourcing on this one. New TV coming definitely in the first half of 2014.
Yeah.
Well into testing the next.
A new Apple TV.
The little
not a television.
No, a new.
That's their
Apple
biggest
TV.
problem with the TV is they need to have
Yeah.
a name that isn't TV at the end.
Yeah.
So like, oh, Apple introduced the Apple TV, and it's like with the TV.
So this is 9 to 5 Mac. They're saying they'll have more channels, a revamped UI, which is like the 50th time they revamped this UI.
Yeah.
More iOS, new types of content supported, perhaps games.
I mean, new UI.
All of this is like astonishingly obvious.
Yeah,
this isn't a rumor.
yeah.
This is like, what would they do?
New UI makes sense, at least in the realm of visual update.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't match iOS anymore.
Yeah.
It looks like some weird bastardized whatever, iOS 6.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but do you want? I mean, they're so
I
different.
don't want iOS 7 on my TV.
I don't want.
Why not?
It just wouldn't look
It
good.
doesn't
One of the
make any
best things
sense.
about jailbreaking an iPhone is that you can skin it. You can
How have you skinned your iPhone? You gave up, by the way. You've got,
I have.
you've
Well,
got
I
the
gave
Z1.
up, and I'm flip flopping back and forth. I'm going to go back because I've been doing a lot of. The camera is still. It's still like the phone. I mean, I don't want to get too far into this, deep into this rabbit hole, but it's extremely annoying to use.
Yeah.
If you were going from Android, like I here's what I'll say. All of the people who think that the iPhone is just like the best for getting things done and is really fast, and you're excited about the 64-bit CPU and. It's like you're living in a dream world where your phone, you think that your phone is like faster at doing things.
Yeah.
But it's actually like kind of like unbelievably slow for doing things. Like the freeze and defrost of apps is crazy.
Yeah.
The like without, I have like an animation reduction thing that is like a jailbreak that makes it really fast to flip through
Oh, that's
animations.
nice.
It's
I want
wonderful.
that.
Even with that, it still feels like I'm getting stuff done slower than on an Android phone. It's actually kind of crazy because I remember a few years ago talking about, the iPhone and just just dissing the hell out of Android, just going like, it's so ugly, it's so messy.
Yeah.
You have like 100 different ways to do something. Like it just feels like a total piece of junk. Like I remember I was talking about this at length, and I was like a staunch like the iPhone is just a completely cohesive system. You know, it really works. It's like they really turned a corner, and now I actually like having gone back and forth. You know, obviously I use the iPhone the when they first came out, the new iPhones, and you know, like I understood the limitations of the software and what it was going to be like. You know, I wrote something about iOS 7 before it came out, and a lot of that stuff is true to this day. But you know, I had enough time with it that I know the OS, right, and know the improvements they've made. But going back to it as like the full-time device, it's kind of astonishing how different things are in 2014 than they were like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, what's happened in Android and what's happened in iOS, it's like they didn't keep pace. iOS did not keep pace with the kind of growth that Android has experienced. I mean, they were at a certain point, one was clearly better than the other in my opinion, and then it just has gotten completely flip-flopped.
Yeah, I mean, I still, the one place I think the iPhone is just objectively better, and it's really funny watching your Instagram because I can always tell what phone you're using at what time. The camera is better.
I'd love
It's
for you to
just
go through
a
my
lot
Instagram
better.
right now and tell me which photo you think is an iPhone photo
This
and
is
which
the worst.
photo.
I
Let's
bet
do
I'm
it.
right
Let's get it up.
8% of the time.
Let's do this. Here we go.
They're all photos of the dog.
Also, watching.
We got it on screen. Here we go. This photo.
This is the iPhone.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a Z1.
That's a Z1?
Yep.
You're a
Okay,
liar.
right here?
I don't believe you at all.
No, it's true. Go ahead. What's this?
This is just an awful picture. I don't even know.
That's a Lumia 1020.
Is it
Really?
really?
Yeah. Keep
Oh
going.
man! All right, if there's a lot of phones in here,
No,
I
no,
just,
come on. Keep going. What's this? Oh, this is taken off of
Yeah,
TV.
this doesn't count.
That's a Z1 though. Let's keep going.
iPhone
It's
looks
exciting.
better. This is a Z1.
That's a Z1 with a Visco filter on it.
Nice.
Here we go. This is exciting.
Cannot figure out Visco. This is, by the way, thrilling audio.
I-
for
It's tough.
people.
This one's tough. I'll be
I'm
honest.
trying to remember what this one is.
I like how, by the way, we're
No,
finally...
our
This
audience is
one-
loving this.
this
Believe
one
me.
I-
we're finally doing the thing where
No,
we're
this is it.
answering
No,
the
this
thing
is
in the comments.
every picture I post. They're like, "What phone is this?" Like, I'm solving the problem right now. Go ahead.
That's true. This, I'm guessing, is also no. This is an iPhone.
Z1. Keep going.
Is it?
Yeah, the Z1's a really good.
The one thing I
All right,
think
here we go. How
about
about
the
this
Z1's camera,
one?
I think the
This
Z1's
one's
usually really
crappy.
good, but it tends
No,
to
I had to zoom. I had to
overbright
zoom this
some
one in
shots.
because that building's really far away. I was on the Williamsburg
Yeah,
Bridge.
it's hard with a big digital zoom. It's
Yeah,
impossible.
that was
to
the Z.
tell.
That was the
That's
Z1.
Z1.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
This is filtered.
Yeah, I mean, when you filter it, just,
Well,
it's just
that's what you
cheating.
do with photos these days.
I mean, if you have a Z1, you do.
No, you do it with the iPhone too.
I don't know what that means.
What are you saying on the bar photo?
These both look like the Z1 to me.
Yeah.
Which one?
The bar and the bag.
Yeah.
Bag. The bar is Z1.
Yeah.
Bag might
Bag.
be an iPhone.
Bag is iPhone.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the next one after the bag?
This is the
This
worst
is like
game
an
in
HTC
history.
One.
That's the iPhone.
Is
Really?
it really?
That's the iPhone.
That's a bad picture.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Keep-
it's
keep
adorable.
going.
And, you know.
We know.
but-
I took that off by the way. I was this is just taken with
This is the
How
iPhone.
amazing would it be if this was taken with the iPhone? Like I should stage that image somehow.
Okay, now we're past the point of no
So I
return.
take this back.
No, we're not. What is this?
These are good
That's
pictures.
the iPhone.
That's the Z1.
That's the Z1.
Yes.
So you have no pictures taken with the iPhone on here.
That's the Z.
You
That's
have
the
one
Z1.
bad
back. You took a
iPhone
picture of
picture.
your
No,
bag. You're
there-
like, screw
let's see.
this.
There may be some others. Let's see.
Well, no, now we're at CS.
No, but there was stuff before C. Well, that's obviously the Z1. So stuff at CS is Z1.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Okay, no, so I take it back. So this camera's good.
I'm
it's
telling-
like you have better pictures on here
I'm
than
telling
I thought you would.
that's the thing that is annoying.
Or you're lying.
No, I'm not.
I mean, that is also just out there.
That's a great point.
I would never lie about it, what phone I took a picture with. That's listen, guys, my promise to you guys in here and to
Yeah.
those people out there, I'll never lie to you about what phone I use to take a picture. I'll always
I will
give
lie to you about everything
I'll
else.
lie to you about everything else. Everything. My name's not even Josh, but I promise you I'll never lie to you about that. Anyhow.
It means a lot.
By the way, for yesterday, people were wondering it was the iPhone on the left and the Z1 on the right. And it's annoying because both pictures are actually really excellent. I did a comparison of Penny, of course.
Yeah.
But the color detail on the iPhone, it's noisier, but the detail is so much better. But then the other pictures, like if you saw it, you'd be like, that's a good picture. Like it looks like a lot of detail. It's annoying. Anyhow, let's keep moving.
Airplane iMessage.
No,
That's
but-
it. That's it. Those
Yeah.
are
What?
only,
No,
You
for me,
say,
it's
you say
iMessage.
airplane
100%
iMessage?
That's it.
Being
That's-
able to
I'm
text from
locked
my
in.
computer is by far the best thing about owning an iPhone.
Yeah. And yesterday I let my phone die and I didn't plug it in because I was like, oh, what's going to happen? Then I won't see it on my computer.
AirPlay.
Yeah. AirPlay and
I thought you were saying there's like a new feature called AirPlay and iMessage, which was like you could text just using iMessage on planes.
You can do that because
no, I know, I get it, right? But okay, so here's the thing, like. Text messages are increasingly in like short supply for me. I'm not like Hangouts has replaced. I mean, everybody's on GChat all the time.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I'm having those conversations. I also have a lot of like GroupMe groups now where I'm like GroupMeing with people.
I use GroupMe. Like we use GroupMe at CES,
yeah,
and that's the
it just destroyed my battery.
No,
I got rid of it as fast.
We actually use
brutal.
like we have a family GroupMe and like there's all kinds of like.
Just you rip your battery to shreds.
Doesn't seem to. I mean, it's Android. It's just better at everything. So I don't know. No, it's actually
probably you should look at your battery meter and see what
it's not. I'll show you. First off, that's the other thing. The battery life on the iPhone is really bad.
Yeah,
I forgot how bad it is. It's crazy bad. This battery is ridiculously good. That's another reason to keep it. Let me tell you what's going on with.
That's another
skin though.
That's another huge.
The skin is really it's really so minor. Like once you get used to it. So
yeah, Sony did a good job.
This really is. It's the screen. I mean, it's GroupMe's not even touching it. And I have 74% left. It's been 5.5 hours off of a charger. And this will be at like tonight when I go to bed at 3 in the morning. It'll be at like 30%.
Yeah, no, my iPhone will die.
Or 40%
I'm
or
at
something.
54.
Yeah, you got to use that Mophie.
That Mophie is so gross. I hate
the worst. They're the worst.
I actually bought.
Laura got one for her one. And
I bought a cheaper off-brand one.
Yeah.
That I'm pretty sure like they hacked it.
Why would you do that?
Because it's not as ugly as the Mophie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I bought an off-brand one because I thought it was cooler.
What was it called? I was looking at them.
The Max Boost Defender. It's not good.
Come on, guys.
But it's soft touch. It's like nicer. I'm 100% certain.
Can you get it up?
That they have.
Can I see the Max Boost Defender on screen?
They had to hack the firmware to make it past the iOS 7 verification.
I feel like for the people who hung in there for the Sundance conversation, you're like, come on, I want to hear tech conversation.
Here you go.
Like you're getting, oh my God.
Look at this piece.
Oh yeah, that is
nasty.
That is an off-brand.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Look at the description. Like, dude, chill out. Just tell us what it works with.
Yeah, that's the worst.
It's got a kickstand.
No, that's not mine. That's the Max Boost Atomic S. Guys.
Dude, Max Boost.
I got the Defender.
Max
totally
Boost
different.
Defender. Can you not hear us in there?
Which is 100% a Mophie ripoff of the old generation. So there's more news to discuss.
Let's talk about it.
So Amazon also rumored to be making they've been rumored to make a set-top box for a while. Rumored to start a cable service. Companies being rumored to start their own cable service is now a thing.
Yeah.
Sony obviously did it at CES. Intel did it a year ago. Amazon's now in the mix. They flatly denied it.
It's just
there's no way we're doing this.
And it wasn't even like we don't comment on rumors and speculation. They were like, nope, not doing that.
Here's what they need to do. I mean, clearly, like there are deals to be cut. They need to basically license Aereo as like their provider for broadcast.
Yeah, the second Aereo gets bought, it's like
it is bought.
Well, but not from IAC.
Very
like by one of the big guys.
But I mean, or they just start licensing the technology, and suddenly Sony's got a bank of antennas in every city.
Yeah.
Or they're just using Aereo as antennas.
Yeah.
And that's the business.
I mean, that's one of these guys. And that was how the original cable TV company started.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Right. I think
they're going to hit that wall at some point.
And I got to tell you, I think I was in a car today, and the driver was like, "Have you heard about this thing with these tiny antennas?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, Aereo." And like we started a big conversation about it. And
I used Aereo to watch football at CS.
Yeah, it works. It's out there. People are into it.
It works. Is it? There's an Aereo for Roku.
Yeah.
I got to install that.
Great.
I just remembered.
It's really great.
Because I got a Roku 3, which I really love, and I really love, and like also actually found an app where I can stream video pretty effectively off of my phone to the Roku, and it
It's like
works.
fake AirPlay.
It's called Juice. But it works. It worked.
All right. AirPlay and iMessage.
Though
I'm telling
I
you,
have
that's the platform lock-in.
And that's one of the things for the iPhone that I love is I've got this Air Video Server. Do you know Air Video Server?
Yeah.
Basically, you can download something on your computer.
Yeah, it's just sitting there.
And then just send it through a phone or a tablet to the Apple TV. Oh, here's Juice. Yeah. I mean, so Juice is really janky looking and looks definitely like it's going to be a virus all over everything. As far as I know, it's not.
Yeah.
I haven't been phished or anything recently, hacked, but it definitely.
Man, fucking Crackle. Does anybody ever
What is
watch
up with
anything
Crackle?
on Crackle?
Oh, they have on
Crackle
the Verge
is
on there.
everywhere.
But Juice does seem to work. I put a movie on my phone
It's on Crackle.
and streamed it to my Roku, and it totally worked. It actually wasn't a movie; it was an episode of Sherlock.
Yeah, but I mean,
Good show.
Yeah. Well, first episode I did not care for. The last two were amazing. The third
I gotta
one,
watch the show.
incredible. Did
I
you
gotta
see
watch
it?
the
I just started the second season.
Oh
way
my
behind.
god! Oh, you need to no. Okay.
I gotta catch up.
Yeah, you need to get with the program.
Okay, so then moving on from Amazon to their big, if they're going to do a TV service, they said we're not going to license channels. We're going to invest in Prime content, which leads right into Netflix, which had a great quarter.
What if Netflix included a service that was like live broadcast in there inside of Netflix?
They would win.
That'd be pretty crazy. Here's the thing, though. Netflix doesn't have that much stuff. I mean, they've got a lot of stuff, but there are definitely things that I want that Netflix does not have.
I mean, isn't Netflix also smart enough to know that the day they do that is the day all of their deals evaporate? Like, no one else would work with Netflix ever again.
Well, when you
it
think
just wouldn't be worth it to them anymore.
Well, but it's like, yeah, maybe.
Right?
But
I feel like they at some point, like,
but
they
you have
can
to
pick
remember,
this fight
like,
with
the-
HBO,
the-
but picking
but
it
the-
with Comcast.
but
is like,
Comcast
and picking
is-
it
But
with-
they're in a permanent fight with Comcast right now. I mean, like,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Netflix uses the bandwidth in Comcast. Look, at the end of the day, like, this net neutrality thing happened last week, and Netflix put out their earnings this week, and they're like, look, if any of the ISPs screw with us because they don't have to follow net neutrality rules, we will provoke our customers into boycotts and inaction.
No,
And straight out, they're like, this is how we're going to handle this.
And
if they screw with
I
us.
don't think it's as simple as like, people will just pull their deals. Like, they need Netflix too.
Yeah.
Like, they need Netflix because there are a ton of people watching their stuff
a
on Netflix.
third of the internet
and,
bandwidth.
And Netflix pays them money for it.
Yeah.
And they get good money for it. And I think that it is
But like, I think if they went to Amazon and were like, hey, we'll give you the same deals we've been giving Netflix forever.
no,
Like,
Amazon doesn't have the viewership.
Right.
I mean,
but that's
there
how
are,
they get
but
it.
this
That's
is
what I'm saying.
why-
It's like there are
not really.
competitors everywhere.
I think you'd be surprised with how people would actually react to that.
Maybe. I hope so.
People be like, well, I'll watch something else on Netflix, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think people will be like, oh, I'm getting rid of
that's
Netflix.
That's why they have. I mean, that's why they have this content recommendation system and all this stuff.
Right.
Because they want to give you the next closest thing to what you really want.
It's really annoying. I went looking for Justified the other night, and I searched for Justified, and it like showed it to
It's
me
on
as if it was
Amazon,
there.
but it's not on
and then it was
Netflix.
like
It's on
titles
Netflix.
related. It's not. It's gone. It's just Amazon now.
Yeah.
It like that.
It was
just
just
happened,
on
I
Netflix
think it
like a
happened,
day
like
ago.
January 1
Like
or
literally,
something.
I was
No,
like,
I was
oh.
looking for it last year.
Was it?
Yeah, because Dan Rubenstein from SB Nation was telling me I should watch it.
Yeah, apparently.
But
it's great.
Amazon's here's the thing: if you're in Amazon, if you ever buy anything from Amazon, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Prime is awesome for deliveries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is then a thing that you have.
Right,
Like,
but
just
they have so they have no scale because right now they don't have a box.
Right.
And so the big rumor is always
but it's on every box.
yeah, but you have to.
I mean, it's on every console. It's on every TV. It's on every box.
I don't think so is Netflix.
Yeah, but Netflix is more popular
Right. Well, so why? I mean, like
because it's Netflix. Because of rules.
no, I think Amazon has to get scale and compete with Netflix head to head because they're all in the same places, but they're not doing quite as well. They have to be
Right.
able to sell you Prime Video for $8 a month, not $75 a year.
I agree.
whatever
I
Prime
agree.
Is. And they need a box. And
They also
I keep
need a
hearing that this box,
differentiator.
right? And so this differentiator, the rumor was they're going to do a TV thing. No one can do a TV thing.
If
as
they
far
could
as I
do a
can
TV
tell.
thing with broadcast,
I don't think they can.
You can
and they
also
denied it.
You can also pay for Prime by the month if you're like so inclined.
But you
Who
have to pay
would
for
do
all
that?
of Prime.
yeah,
How
but
much,
it's cheaper than Netflix.
how much is all of Prime per month?
well, $79 divided by 12.
No, it's a weird different.
It's $6.58. It's like it's cheaper.
Why
than
don't they
Netflix.
advertise that?
They
I don't
really
know, they
should.
should.
No, actually, I actually think I had a conversation with somebody at Amazon, and I didn't know that, and I said the same thing.
Yeah.
This all is sounding
If they
very
were like,
familiar
this will be
to me.
$6.50 a month, people would just get Prime.
Right, you just be like, oh, okay.
Just
But
That's
here-
true.
build it
That
into-
sounds like a lot less.
But the problem
than
is,
$79
but
a
the
year.
problem is the differentiator. The differentiator for me is you get great free delivery.
Yeah.
But that may not be the thing that for TV watchers that they need to hear.
Right.
What is the different? I think that you're right that a TV service, if they could do it, would be the thing.
Yeah.
It's like a complete
Yeah.
holistic solution.
But there's no way. I mean, as far as I can tell, anybody can launch this TV service right now. You just have to pay the exact same money as Comcast.
Well, Amazon
right,
could
which-
do that.
And Amazon of all companies isn't going to do that. I think Apple might do that. I think Microsoft, if they're desperate enough, might do that.
But then it's like, how does that sit with? I mean, you're saying literally, Apple would say we're going to do a national cable plan.
Over the air or over the internet.
Okay, I just think that it's going to be tough for them to get that deal because Comcast
I
and
think-
Time Warner are going to be like,
Right. I think if I'm
yeah,
ESPN
no,
and I
like-
go to make that deal, Comcast flips out. At
No,
me.
no.
Right.
Well, no, because Comcast can't flip out at you too much because A, they're region locked. B, they all sign these deals. Like there's
Comcast
there's 100 cable
Comcast
companies.
and Time
in the
Warner
States.
are
Right.
But like DirecTV has the same deal as Comcast, and they're national.
But then the issue becomes like, hey, this is the perfect place where these new net neutrality, the new like dashing of net neutrality is going to be perfect because Comcast will go like, oh, okay, you want to have a cable service, like no problem, but unfortunately it uses a lot of bandwidth, so we're going to have to tax you for it.
So Comcast is actually the wrong company because when they bought NBC, they agreed to all of these rules.
That's true.
So Comcast is actually they voluntarily agreed to like a suite of
like Dish
essentially
is
like non-discrimination.
Yeah, but like Time Warner Cable or FiOS, like they're not under any of these agreements.
Verizon will definitely do whatever it can to destroy net neutrality.
Yes.
Your freedom to watch what you want, where you want to watch
I mean, this is like, I just don't think they can do it. And so what's interesting about that is that same day, the CEO of HBO was like, I don't mind if you share passwords for HBO Go. It just makes people love HBO more. So like, use your parents' passwords.
Right.
And when you're older and you finally make some money, kid, you too can pay for HBO.
It's true.
And Reed Hastings.
I used my parents for years, and then was like, I'm going to get cable.
Yeah.
And like now I have my own HBO.
You're a
and it feels
grown-up.
great.
You're a grown-ass man.
Here's the thing about cable TV. It's in its own crazy way. It's not a bad deal.
No.
Right? Like you get a bunch of channels.
Well,
It's just the interface, the UI, and all that.
The problem is that you get a bunch of channels and the
some of these
possibility
channels-
of watching them.
Right.
But the truth is, you only watch like 15.
Yeah.
I would love to see. I'm sure there's a statistic on it. What the average cable owner, how many channels an average cable owner watches on a regular basis? I'll bet it's like 20.
Well, what really interests me is whenever somebody, and it's all obviously speculative, but the Atlantic does this like once a quarter, go through and do the math on like what it would cost to watch the 10 most popular channels. Yeah, we've done it too.
Yeah.
But then like they're like, if you just want to watch, ESPN, they do like ESPN, they do sports. So it's ESPN and Yes and Comcast and Fox Sports and whatever. And they found out it would be way more expensive just for the sports channels than to just get cable.
Yeah, so if you're in San Francisco, you want local channels, HBO, and 25 down, 5 up internet, you're paying $40 a month, which is not terrible.
That sounds great.
Like that's not terrible.
That's a cable package?
Yeah.
No, I don't have
That's
a problem.
Comcast.
But that's
Time
literally
Warner
just for HBO.
Okay, but then just for HBO. Then if you move to New York and you get Time Warner Cable, the
It's
lovely,
$10 million.
delightful Time Warner Cable, you're paying $75 a month.
So I pay.
That's competition. That's the free market, everybody.
My internet, which is DOCSIS, which is 50 down and 5 up. When it functions,
Okay.
when it functions,
Sure.
is $100.
Yeah.
And then the cable service with HBO, I have HBO and Showtime, is an additional. When all said and done, it's an additional $150.
Yeah.
So I pay $250 every
Wow,
month.
that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
for cable TV with 2 special channels,
Right.
and internet. The internet's $100 a month. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is just a
You
New
gotta
York.
get some FiOS, dude.
I'd
So
love to
I-
get,
I pay-
I'd love
we
to get
get-
FiOS, but Verizon can't bring it to my neighborhood.
it's
There was a
too far
FiOS
away.
truck a block away from my apartment
Did
the
you
other day,
start
and I
Yeah.
ran over and like tried to hug the man.
No, you don't understand. We got somebody like
FiOS.
dropped a FiOS flyer in our mail slot, and I was like, "What is happening? Did it happen? Like, did they do this?" And I like hurriedly went online. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh my
nope.
god!" And it's like, "Nope, sorry."
Yeah.
But you can get this shitty, ridiculous.
Just
Like,
somebody,
you can
like,
get
trolling you at your
Verizon's.
house.
You can get Verizon's regular DSL service, which is like 1 down. And 0.5 up or
miserable.
something, and it's
Yeah.
like $60, and they're like, and you could get Dish or not Dish, Dish.
Yeah.
Like, and you can have Dish
The one
TV.
you- the one you
it's
don't
like,
want.
great service offering from me.
Yeah.
Like, you live in like 4 blocks away, and you're
Yeah.
no, it's not 4 blocks, but and you have awesome
half a mile
FiOS.
away. Yeah, no,
You've all
mine is,
digital
you
everything.
You FiOS?
Yeah, I get every
Bastard.
single movie channel and 50/50 internet and a phone line that I never use for like
That's
$175 a month.
I forgot we have
continually
a-
my favorite thing.
I forgot
about
we have a
my
phone
cable
line
bill
also.
is that I pay for a landline.
Yeah, that's great.
It's not,
I don't-
it's not a landline.
Thanks for the phone line, guys. I'm gonna
We
plug,
have a
I'm gonna
phone
plug
that
my
we-
fax machine into it.
We
Let's see
do-
what happens now. It's
But we
nuts.
do occasionally use the phone. Like a home phone is sort of nice
I don't.
sometimes.
We don't even have one.
We have one.
So-
that's great.
Okay, so that's happening. Also, Charter wants to buy Time. Like, the TV space is heating up. Like people see opportunity here.
Well, TV's like unbelievably awesome right now. I mean,
Yeah.
we I mean, obviously everybody watches a lot of TV, but we started watching the 4th season of Boardwalk Empire, which we had not.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so good. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's like a movie.
Yeah.
So I've heard
It's
good
just like a
things. I need to-
12-hour
60-hour
movie.
movies.
Yeah.
This is our whole thing at CES. Like Netflix is going to change the TV industry.
Yeah.
Because when people when every show is a 60-hour movie, you want to binge watch them all.
Yeah.
You're just going to watch them on Netflix.
I mean, and it's also like from an art perspective, like a totally new art form, like completely unexplored territory in the sense that, you know, it used to be like you do a 2-hour movie and it's like very high production value. So you spend a lot of time on the script, you get the best actors, you know, and it looks amazing. And then it was like TV was like, it's like kind of half-assed because you can't really spend that kind of money. Now it's like, look, it is a 12-hour or what did you say, like 60. a 60-hour movie.
Yeah.
And it's people are telling stories in a totally different way. It's great. We've been watching True Detective. Have you watched True Detective?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's so
really
good.
crazy good.
Yeah.
And like it's like you're just watching like, okay, now I have 10 more hours of this movie to watch.
Yeah, it still freaks me out that Matthew McConaughey is an amazing actor, but it
No.
took me like a half hour to get
He's
over
always
that.
been an amazing
He's
I
not
know,
just
but,
an amazing actor. He's like the most
incredible.
amazing actor.
Yeah.
He's like the American Daniel Day-Lewis now, basically.
And
We
then
finally
he's
have
gonna
our
go,
own Daniel Day-Lewis.
He's gonna go make like 11 Things I Hate About You. And
Time for
call
him
it
to be in a
day.
movie where he gets fat, though.
Ooh, that's
Okay,
rough.
you know
Still
what?
is skinny.
Yeah. I saw you do skinny. Now get real fat.
He's skinny in True Detective.
I want to see him as like a 300-pound obese person, and like not a fat suit.
That'll
real.
be Magic
Here's
Mike
True
2.
By the way,
He'll
True
be a
Detective
stripper.
is just
Be a
like
fat
beautifully shot,
Yeah.
you know, amazingly written.
Well, and like to your point about 60-hour movies, nothing happens in the first episode. Nothing. They just like sit around and
nothing except like dread, overwhelming
Well,
dread
right.
and horror.
No, but this is how I feel about House of Cards too.
Yeah.
At the end of every episode of House of Cards, it's like, well, that's over.
Yeah.
next.
So just watch the next one.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no the episodes have no act structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of like
Because they don't
flowing.
have to, because it ends and
You're
Right,
gonna
you're
watch the
not,
next
you're not
one.
forced
the
into
most
that.
brilliant thing Netflix ever did was just automatically roll into the next one.
Yeah.
They didn't used to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
the new one does
like
it.
you used to just have to
It's like a
press
count-
the play
it's like a
button.
countdown,
It's like
right?
15 seconds.
Like,
or
stop
something,
doing
It's
that.
real.
So I like
it's what I like to
accidentally
call
watched
West Wing.
an entire season of Parks and Rec on Saturday.
We just
totally
that's
by
great.
accident.
We just
like sitting there on the couch
we just
doing
got.
I
I was like,
accidentally
oh.
smoked a huge bowl, was immobile, and watched a whole season of Parks.
I
and
couldn't
Rec.
help myself. We just got caught up to, with The Good Wife. We will watch all 5 seasons, or like all the way.
God, that's the other show I need to get into.
Dude, The Good Wife is.
It's The Good Wife.
It's
and
like
Justified
weird. It's weird.
and
The
Boardwalk
Good Wife.
Empire.
I was
Becky
gonna say
loves
this.
the show.
It's weird that The Good Wife is on CBS because CBS is historically not known for. I mean, they do some really hilariously bad procedurals, in my opinion, like CSI and NCIS and all these other shows.
Just
with
shows.
Letters.
Two
They're
Broke
really
Girls.
like
Letters.
They're really
The
like
CBS
Hawaii
story.
5-0.
Yeah.
They're really like 2 Broke Girls, 2.5 Men. Seriously, they have a lot of shows with numbers in their titles, but numbers and letters.
Yeah.
But it's like really good for a network,
Fair enough.
for a 45-minute network procedural, like crazy good.
And it's like 5 seasons deep now, right? It's been
It's
on
5
a while.
seasons deep, and it really, you should just, it's on, do you have Amazon? You have Amazon
Yeah.
Prime?
No,
It's on
just go get
Prime.
it. Becky loves the show.
But there's something weird like, the latest season obviously isn't.
I think it's on
not finished.
Hulu.
It's
Like
on
the
Hulu.
whole- it's on Hulu Plus.
It's on
like the whole
Hulu,
thing,
but
I
you
think.
have to watch commercials.
Oh, true.
Which I find
They have a lot of commercials.
a lot of commercials.
Like a lot of
It feels
commercials
like a
now.
lot of. It
And
feels
they
like
always
they're-
show me the same
Hulu
2
is-
commercials
yeah.
11
Here's
times
the
during
thing
an
about- no,
episode, and then
the
I
thing
just
about-
want to like murder
Yeah,
Sharman
it's
by the end
terrible.
of it. It's
Yeah.
awful.
Hulu's the sad, desperate one.
Yeah.
That's how I like really feel.
Which
like
is weird because
Netflix
they have
is
the
running
They used
backlog
to
away
of
kill-
all of
they
the
were-
industry players.
And
Like,
I
they
think that's
should
why
be-
they're the sad, desperate.
Right.
They
Yeah.
can't do new things.
Well, they
Like,
have to. They're doing. Their basis is commercials, and like, here's what I've learned: when I'm in the midst of a really gripping drama, like, I really don't want to fade to black to see the Charmin commercial.
Right.
You know, it just is not.
Hulu's
It's not.
also miserable at knowing what I want to see.
Yes.
Like I get a lot of commercials for like old elderly people insurance.
Yeah. There's also
And it's like,
yes.
I don't need that.
There's also like a lot of
You
shows
just
on
gotta click
Hulu
the,
that
is
are.
this ad relevant to you? But
But I clicked it so many times. You see my tweet the other day? At some point, I'm going to click that button so many times. Hulu's going to be like, do you want to just buy a fucking gun? Because like, you don't like anything else.
Yeah.
Do you just want to buy a gun?
Well,
Just
there
buy
are-
a gun. Buy
there are-
it now.
Alec Baldwin just comes on screen and is like, just buy a gun.
There are.
Just anything.
I mean,
this is the only thing left.
I want to see ads that I am excited about the product or whatever. But that's the other thing about Hulu is, to your point, and your point is that you do see the same ads. It's like,
Yes.
first time, second time, I was like, cool, interesting. I might check that out. Like 6th time, 10th, 14th, I'm like, you know what, dude? I'm not in the market for a forward focus right
No,
now. Like,
you know the
just give
car
me-
ad? I don't even know what car it's for,
It's
but
like-
where the car is the baby, and he like opens his garage and the baby's sitting there.
What?
You haven't seen this commercial?
Are you drunk?
Yeah.
You know
Okay.
what I'm talking about.
No.
You guys suck. But so I literally have seen this commercial probably 400 times in
Car is a
I don't know what a
baby
car.
Oh, no,
I
don't
don't know
do
what car
it.
it's for. And B,
There's like a lot
if
of
I ever
Geico.
see it again,
By the way,
I'm
that auto
not.
completed way too fast.
A lot of
Oh, it's a
Oh, no.
nationwide insurance commercial.
Oh no, Laura did something. We were talking about
Car is a
something.
baby
We were talking about something.
He's watching his baby.
Oh, we were.
How have you never seen this?
We were
commercial?
watching Gravity, and Laura was
Great
like,
movie.
"I want to know how this was filmed," and typed in how, and it was how was Gravity filmed?
No
was
way.
the auto predict?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you type how W, it goes to how was Gravity
Yeah.
filmed.
yeah.
That's
it was
wild.
It was nuts. And,
And the next one is how will I know?
what does that mean?
That one just keeps going. That's a rabbit hole of depression right
Here's the
there.
thing. Here's the thing. Dude,
How
here's
will
the-
I know I'm addicted to cocaine?
What's so crazy about this is that this is like the zeitgeist, like really
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
Everybody is going to Google and going like, how was Gravity filmed?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's weird to me that we know that now. That's the thing that it knows. You're most likely to type that in if you type how W.
Yeah. That's
Could've
the
been
magic.
like,
the magic of Google.
How
Watching at every
will
moment.
I
You know what's going to be great? Is
How
when
will I
they're-
die? That's probably a very popular one.
I've Googled that a lot of times.
I would never Google that because Google doesn't know how you're going to die.
You don't
Are
know.
you
You've never
sure?
Googled it.
I know.
I mean,
how
they're
you're
look. They're
die.
going to be watching the
by
temperature
my
in your house.
hand.
Wow.
What?
Why are these all quizzes?
A lot of quizzes. Because what else would it be?
Dude, people love quizzes. You know what?
Just
The New York
predict
Times-
anything.
Did you see what the New York Times?
This
Dead.
fun and
Did you
humorous
see-
death quiz
No.
looks into the future to
don't
find out
understand.
how and when you will die.
You don't understand.
That
We're-
sounds like a good time.
Do you know people love quizzes? You saw the New York Times most popular story
Yeah,
of
yeah.
2013 was a quiz
Yeah.
that they had just put out like in December
Yeah.
or something.
It's crazy.
But you know why? People love quizzes.
This is the most
They love to
beloved
answer quizzes.
quiz of all.
Did anybody take the New York Times quiz? It was like
I did.
where's your voice from?
I was
Mine was
immediately-
Philly and Delaware, which is
Immediately
super
it
not-
got
placed in
mine
Wisconsin.
totally wrong. It said I was like from New Jersey or something.
Yeah.
But it got Laura's
Really?
at Pittsburgh, yeah. So
Yeah, I was immediately placed in Wisconsin.
all right,
For
what
one
else?
reason,
What
one
else do we
reason
have?
alone.
Should we talk about Beats Music? While
It's gonna
talking about
fail.
media.
I don't want to.
Literally, my question was, how on earth could this possibly not fail? And I think the answer is,
So here's
it can't.
here's
not
what I
fail. It's
want.
going
I was
to.
I was talking to Joanna about this too. All I want is for somebody to make iTunes, but with a subscription on the end of it, so I can just use iTunes the way that I was using it before. And then when I want something, I just have it.
That was the promise of RDO.
You mean as
Yeah.
opposed to this thing where it's like, we're going to help you discover all kinds of new music.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't want your
whoever-
radio.
Yeah, I don't want radio. I
just
don't
want all the music I wanna listen
Spotify's
to.
stupid idea
I put
about
Joshua
playlists.
FM on all the time, and it's like, you know what? I've heard this song like a billion times. You're so unoriginal.
Yeah.
And Google Play is really close. I think they have the best. Like, we'll take all the stuff you have, we'll set it into the cloud, so it'll be there.
Yes.
Then we've got a thing, and then the apps are miserable.
The apps are the interface is terrible and confusing. Like
Yeah.
they just need to just
And
buy
there's no
RDO.
desktop- and there's no
Buy
desktop
Google.
client.
Buy RDO, replace the music interface with RDO, do their streaming whatever, and like you're done.
Yep.
You win.
Yep.
You've got it.
Right.
I love I play. Here's the thing: Play is kind of awesome because you can like you're like I'm just going to stream this thing,
Yeah.
or download it, or play it on the web.
Yeah.
it's like it gives you.
I
options.
think they need desktop client. I mean, Google's never
They
going
do
to make
need
a desktop.
they do need a
clients,
desktop.
but-
Well, they have Picasso. That still exists.
It's true.
yeah.
Just
I mean,
saying.
The thing for me about Beats is like, hasn't this exact thing been done before? Like, this is what Slacker Radio was. They just made it again.
right.
Where it was
This was
like-
what Mog was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they literally bought Mog and made it again.
Yeah,
With a nicer
slightly
interface.
I will say the interface at the beginning, where it, like there are little bubbles and it asks you to pick which artists you like and don't like and which
Yeah.
genres you like and don't like, is neat. And then I get past that and it's like, well, I have no idea how to do anything.
Here's
Yeah.
the
It's
thing:
like
though,
I am in bed with a banana and I want to listen to reggae music. It's
So
like
I think
that's
there's
the thing that
so I
happens.
have a.
I don't know what
you,
that
That's like
means.
write
how
a
it,
sentence.
yeah.
You don't like do stuff.
You
with
tell it like where you are, how you're feeling, and what you want to listen to.
You play Mad Libs with.
I
an
gotta
app.
try it
It's
out.
so
I gotta
insane.
try Beats
People
out.
like. I mean, it's fun.
They have a free trial.
So I,
Yeah, 7 days.
So I have a theory about all of this. With streaming
Drake's plan
services
to take over.
No, I think that they all pay money to the labels per stream, and I think that it's in their best interest to be like, look at how much different music people are streaming,
Right.
Instead of what I did with iTunes or my records or my tapes when I had those or my CDs, which was listen to the same stuff over and over.
Which is what I end up doing.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. Because, I mean, maybe we're just old. We're old people.
Well, so wait, are you saying like if I stream something like the first 5,000 times Beats stream something, it's cheaper than the next 5,000?
No, I think it's in
No,
their
they
best
want to
interest
diversify.
to totally diversify their streams and like spread the money around basically.
Right.
So they're always into discovery. They're always like
they
every
wanna
streaming
show that-
service
right.
is always about new.
they
Look
want
at
to
how much new
demonstrate.
stuff
They want to
have.
demonstrate to artists and to labels that it can
Yeah.
be an effective tool for discovering and then like purchasing or listening
Yeah.
to new music. Because the whole point is like if you just keep listening to Beyonce, then like they already know Beyonce's popular. Like that's not their problem. Their problem is like they want to make some other like sub Beyonce character popular.
Well, but the problem is all of these services, and I have this problem with audio too, is they bury things like Beyonce.
No,
Where it's
because
like
that's
when
what I'm
Beyonce
saying.
comes out with a record, like I find out because I hit the play button on my Mac and iTunes magically opens. I'm like, oh, Beyonce has a new album out.
Right.
And it's like I've found this out recently that like talking to friends and stuff that what a lot of people I know do is go to iTunes, find out what's new and cool that they should listen to, and then go to Spotify or audio and get it there.
Their discovery, their
all
discovery
they're
is
trying
really,
to do
well,
is
it's because
discover, and they're doing a bad
that's because
job.
they use social. They're using like social to like
Yeah.
predict what is like popular when they really should be saying like we're curating what's popular.
Right.
That's the difference between iTunes
Well, or
and
they should
audio.
just be saying
is
what's
that
popular.
social pushes up like the social stuff pushes up like what is like listened to or
Right.
new and listened to by like this your sphere. Whereas iTunes is just like hey here's actual new stuff like a record store.
Right.
The
which I think is what most people want.
one thing that I have to say, talking about this, I've been thinking about it. One of the things that I've learned in our new reality of streaming services, like video on demand and music on
love
demand.
video on demand.
Here's what I've learned.
Just love it.
It's taught me to be it's taught me to be like really patient about things I wasn't patient about before. Like I used to be like, I got to hear the new thing. I got to listen to the new thing right now. I'm going to spend $15 on this record, or I have to see this new movie. I'm going to go to the theater and spend like the ticket price and watch it.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll just wait. I'll just wait for it to come to the thing that I use, and then I'll listen to it.
Yeah, that happened
And
to me with TV a long time ago.
I think it's a weird thing that I'm not sure maybe like an accident. They didn't want that to happen. They thought people would be like, well, I'll just pay for it wherever I can get it.
Right.
But in actuality, people are pretty patient.
Yeah.
And they'll just go like, yeah, I'll just wait. It's not a big deal.
Or the people who aren't impatient, they're going to backstop their streaming services by just pirating the stuff.
Right.
Which I think it happens a lot still.
Definitely happens for me with movies.
Yeah.
I just was like, all right, I have to see Captain Phillips. I can't wait any longer.
It's on
movie, right?
iTunes.
I haven't
I enjoyed
actually
that
watched the
movie.
whole thing.
It's a good movie.
It's on iTunes.
No, now it is. Now it is today, like yesterday. But
What,
it wasn't.
You
It wasn't a
torrented
week.
like a
it wasn't a
cam
week ago.
video, like
No,
some
no,
dude
no,
in
no, no,
Singapore
no.
with a GoPro,
Like
just
munching
like
on popcorn.
Screeners, my man. Screeners. Around award season, it's all about screeners.
What was it? Wasn't it? Like
I also
an
have.
Ellen DeGeneres
I also
screener
have
that
some
got locked?
screeners that I did not illegally acquire.
and that makes up for it.
The point is,
It does.
Because we're on Rotten Tomatoes.
when
now.
the police come, you're like, but I
bought-
have the legal one.
Look, I bought the Sega game Wonder Boy and Monsterland, so if I have the ROM, it's no big deal.
Yeah, no, there's a lot
Think
of
about it. Think about that.
Captain Phillips.
I really threw you
Copyright
guys.
Manson.
I really threw you guys for what
I-
else is
I mean,
else is out? What other new movies are out?
I'm not looking at movies. I'm looking at music. I'm just
Captain
literally.
Phillips. What else?
Let's look.
Do they have an Oscars?
I don't know.
It's terrible crap.
I think most of the Oscar
This is all
stuff
real
there's always so much bad crap.
is still
Yeah, I'm
in
just gonna click
theaters.
on
Click on the
Oscars.
Oscars to see what it has. Is Nebraska out?
No, I think you
No,
can
these
click.
are just like the movies that are nominated. You can just pre-order them.
Yo, yeah, that's my
You
favorite.
want digital pre-orders.
No,
If
dude.
you
This is my
pre-order a
favorite.
movie, I don't
This is my
like you.
favorite new thing that Apple does on the Apple TV. It's like, oh my God, Her is available. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna watch it right now. I'll buy it right now, no problem. Like, no, pre-order Her.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
that out of my.
What
get
is
that
this
out of
random other interface?
It's a new interface.
Apple, what are you doing?
I like that.
It's just Joaquin Phoenix.
God, he's so amazing.
Hey, Joaquin.
I gotta
Did you see
watch this
her?
movie.
Yeah, did you like it?
I loved it.
Shut up.
It's okay.
Really?
It had
Shut
some
up.
good stuff.
Everyone be quiet. Shut up.
I didn't like the way it ended with everybody dying. I was surprised.
Well, yeah.
Like I didn't expect the building to blow up with all the
There
people
was a
in it,
lot.
all the stars
more-
of the movie.
There was a lot more stabbing than I thought.
This
there
is
was gonna be.
weird. The computer
Like,
actually attacked him with
yeah.
the knife. I
That
didn't
was-
see. How was it holding
That's
it?
the worst.
I didn't understand.
Scarlett Johansson could do anything she wants.
And then
Thanks, Will, for the random troll.
and then at the end that the girl computer was a boy computer.
Shocking. That was a twist.
Yeah.
Didn't see that
For
coming.
those who
You
don't
did not see
know.
that coming. And then the explosion.
Right.
It was just a bit surprised.
Yeah.
And then stabbing.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
I thought Captain Phillips
And
ended weirdly
Hermione,
too.
Hermione dies.
They were like in the Matrix. That was a weird ending to Captain Phillips.
That's
It
right.
was all simulation.
But I totally bought it because Tom Hanks is so great.
Yeah, exactly. He's amazing.
I'll
This
believe
is done.
anything Tom
We're done
Hanks
with the
does.
show.
He woke up in like a hyperbaric
what is his
chamber in like the year
baggage
4000.
claim?
How, by the way, how amazing would that be if that's how Captain Phillips actually ended?
He woke up.
He woke
was
up in
just
like a
tripping the whole
no,
time.
he was like in a Matrix simulation, and they're like, "Welcome to like the year 4000." Anyhow, and
No, that
that's the
should have been like
Vergecast.
his training, and then he
It's
actually
like-
goes out and the exact
that's the
same thing
worst.
He
happens
wakes
to
up
him.
and the lead
it's-
pirate is the guy who's been operating the thing the whole time,
it's the
and they're
worst.
actually best friends.
It's the worst reboot of Total Recall ever made.
The
That's
total,
what the Total
the
Recall.
new
Captain
the Total
Phillips.
Recall 2014.
Total Recall.
That's what that movie is.
Total Recall Captain Phillips
would be pretty great.
If I don't see a Photoshop poster of that in a Twitter stream soon, I'll be very upset. All right, I think this has devolved to an appropriate level where we can end.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay,
fair.
good. All right, well, that's the Vergecast. What time is it? Oh, yeah, we're good. That's the Vergecast for this week. If you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at vergecast@theverge.com. You can leave a comment on this on the Vergecast post when it goes up. You can put something into our forums, contribute to our forums, say something about the Vergecast, a positive, negative, we'll take it all.
Yeah.
You can also find us on Twitter. The Verge is at Verge. I'm Joshua Topolsky. Nilay is Reckless. David Pierce is Pierce David. We'll never understand why. But
Did I tell you that there are a large number of people in the world that think my first name is Pierce?
Pierce.
That makes sense.
Like I've had
Pierce.
strangers come up to me and be like, "Oh, hey, Pierce." I'm like, sorry, but no, it's fine.
Pierce
I roll with
David.
it. Call me whatever you want.
Isn't it weird?
It's your designer name.
Isn't it also weird that
Pierce
there's an
David.
actor,
Pierce David.
David Hyde Pierce, who I could see like you guys, kind of have a similar thing going.
There are a lot of people who are positive that we're related, and I'm like, that's
You're
not
not,
how.
though. That's not how names work. If you have the same name, it doesn't mean you're related. And that's it for us, I think. We'll be back next week with more Vergecasting.
Something will happen.
More Vergecasting.
Yeah.
Vergecast.
We'll actually be torrenting the movies live next week.
We're gonna be watching. Tune in next week while we watch Captain Phillips
I'll
as
be
a
holding
group
my laptop.
together to find out if they ever get off the island. And as always, I wish you and your family the very best for this upcoming weekend, which will be is going to be a weekend filled with physical pain and emotional pain for you and the ones you love.
Rock and roll.